Welcome back to another episode of Listings and Lullabies, a girl dad's journey with your host, Varun Varma. My name is Vikas Sondhi, and we are officially in season 2, episode 4, y'all. Varun, how you doing today, man? Happy Friday.
Guilty, man. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. Man, dude, this week kind of went slow, but then went fast at the end. I was sitting in like Tuesday afternoon. I was like, damn, it's only Tuesday. And then, damn, Friday's already
Now it's
here.
Friday,
So,
right? I know. It's like we haven't had a lot of like full weeks in a
mhm,
while, like whether it's
yeah,
with kids' school or something happening, and now it's like, ooh, 5 days. So it's been a
yeah,
little crazy.
yeah.
Um,
It was President's Day, and then Zyanna was sick, and then,
I
yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
sickness we could have 5 episodes just on everyone's illnesses in the
dude,
last like 2 months. It's
yeah. I
crazy.
mean, I should have invested in Kleenex brand years ago, bro. Because like Costco doesn't even have enough on hold for us, dude.
Shout out to Costco. Yo, we all love Costco.
Lifesavers, lifesavers.
Um, oh man, but how is Zyanna first of all? How's she doing now?
She's good, man. She is like starting to put together sentences a little bit, and it is so weird. And she catches on to what we say or try to teach her. Like today, this morning, I was like, baby, it's Friday. She's like, Friday. And I was like, what? So, and she just picks up on things and she's saying things more clearly. Like she runs into something, she's like, owie, or it's mind blowing, and we're just like shocked that she's just picking up and saying full sentences or starting to put a couple words together.
Right, right.
And yeah,
Remind our audience, how old is she now?
she is 22 months. Yeah,
22 months. All right.
yeah,
So all of you soon to experience this whole journey, 22 months. She's starting to put phrases together and all this. That's awesome. That is
yeah,
awesome. I think of Zyanna actually every day because whenever me and Brie are talking and I have to respond with like a yes, I'll
yeah.
say it in Zyanna's tone, like, yeah, yeah. Her and Arya, they always say, yeah.
They have the
Uh,
same tone, and it's funny. We always make fun because Zyanna just started saying that "ya" or "yas" that way because she always sees Arya's videos, and she's always constantly wanting to see Arya's videos or whatnot. So
yeah. So
it's a
we always
balance of
giggle. Like, it's like, hey, would you like a glass of wine? Yeah.
or try saying no how she does when you don't want something.
Yeah, yeah, with that face, oh, man.
Yeah,
Um,
that was funny when you got to experience her, like, just dominating us and controlling us when what was it? We were standing in the kitchen, and then she wanted a snack or something, and then she was like, "No, no." Bavisha, of course, just gives her what she wants, and it's hilarious because Bavisha and I will battle like, "Oh, you're just gonna give her that?" And it's like, of course, when we're in that same role, we're gonna give her that too. I mean, I'm not
who
ever gonna say
who's
no.
the nicer one to her? Who gives her what she wants more?
I do, for sure, 1000%,
Daddy's little
for sure.
girl. Yep,
Oh,
that's
dude, yeah. And it's funny because she sees me on the phone and all that stuff we've talked about in other episodes, but now, especially when she's more older and starting to be, she's more present and more aware that we're trying to kind of take it away from her, but not in the sense where she cries and throws tantrums about it or
right.
whatnot. But of course, Bavisha will try the techniques of trying to get it away from her, and she'll be like, "No, mine." And then I'll come in and be like the gentle one, like, "Baby, okay, we'll count to 10." And the other day, I counted to 10 like 15 times.
Oh, God. Like, "No, I'm gonna do it again. This time it's gonna
Yeah,
work."
yeah. Like,
Oh,
okay,
man.
you didn't get that. That was the practice rounds.
Oh, man.
Um,
It's,
but it's awesome. She's doing good. She loves her baby brother, who is 3 months now, and he's
wow.
doing well. Uh, we you forget like the little moments and things with your baby and child as they grow and do different stages in their whole growth journey. But it's it's crazy that he's like holding his neck up. He's starting to kind of pull himself up. He
Wow.
gets tummy time, and we remember those parts of Zyanna that she was just like, no way. She's like, nope, I'm not doing tummy
So you're
time.
seeing the
I'm not.
difference.
Yeah. So it's cool to see that, but it's also I think a little bit self-defense mechanism because he's like, I have this monster attacking me every morning and every day. I need to I need
She,
to be
like,
able
hurt
to
him and stuff? Does she, like,
yeah.
grab him like a teddy bear?
Yeah, dude, she wants to hold him, then we're like, "Okay, she's cool," and then she's like, "Ah." But it's I mean, it's all so cute and enjoyable, but she loves him. It's great. I am and this could be just something, there's no I don't think there's any data behind this. This is just a feeling. It's just like, I think her being an older sister is such a great role for her and Sahil, and because I don't know. Obviously, we'll never know. I just don't know if the older sister or older brother, younger sister relationship is the same, and you can speak on that, because you have an older sister.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, we have younger sisters, Suchali, shout out to Suchali, and we know how we treated her. We were
Yeah.
a big group of brothers, and she was the only daughter, and she was the youngest. So, I think about that a lot. And like I said, there's no data; it's just a feeling because I see a friend. We have a good friend that has a daughter and a younger brother too, and I talked to them a little bit about it, and it's just like, I think there's just women are sweet, man, and boys are just dicks.
Not all of them. Come
Not
on.
all of them, but it's just, it's they just I don't know. I feel like women care a lot more. Women
Yeah,
care
well, I
a
mean,
lot
that
more, and
they definitely have the empathy gene a lot
yeah,
more, compassion
for
gene a
sure.
lot
It's
more,
it's
and
certainly not. It's not as the boy or the man or the male is choosing to be that way. It's just just kind of the wiring of it. But I'm glad because Sahil feels that love right away.
mm,
So he can grow up and become a man that respects, the things that we talked about in the last episode, right? With Madeline, has that certain experience, that insight, that point of view of seeing the female perspective, because I grew up with a brother. I didn't see, my mom was one of three brothers and then one of three in her immediate family. So, just a different perspective there that, you don't see the point of view from women. You don't feel that, maybe don't feel that different love and care and affection from a sibling that's a woman. So, I'm excited for him to grow and feel and grow up in that environment too. So,
no, that's awesome, and going back to what you were saying about our last episode, that was a great episode. I think having Madeline, thank you so much, first of all, for being on the
absolutely.
episode,
Absolutely.
and more importantly, thank you for writing the book and sharing that with the world. I think we need a lot more people sharing their experiences,
Yeah.
helping to improve the world. And so, I think, that I think you've already ordered like a bunch of books to
Yeah,
give
I've
out.
ordered a bunch. I've got a list ready to go out. And anyone that's listening, if you're a girl dad or just want to check out the book, DM us, comment, let me know. Happy to send you a copy. I'm not going to send out copies for the next 10 years, but I want to help share that world because she's not some big time author and publisher. She's just yeah, she was a different path and saw the void that the world needed to see and share in her experience. And I think that was awesome that she found her calling in something completely different, from the
Yeah.
journey and path and that she was maybe destined to be on, and followed that journey and path and gut feeling and went with it. And here we are. She's someone that's created that book. Had the courage to sit down and the determination to not know what was going to come about from it, and do all of that and then get it published, get it out there, and then now creating an entire girl dad network, social group where girl dads can go into this platform and collaborate with other girl dads, other fathers that are going through a similar journey and help grow and um, you know, be a student to that whole world and grow and become better for themselves, for their spouses, for their kids, for their daughters and sons. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up a really good point and a reminder for all of us. Like, she didn't wake up one day and just be like, "Oh, I'm an author," right? Like, and some of us get in our heads like, "Oh man, like write a book? I could never do that," right? And so I think it's a reminder that we all can be whatever we want to be.
Yeah.
right? Um, it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be perfect, but that's a reminder as there's a lot of people going through a lot of navigational shifts in their lives, whether it be from work or corporate job or federal jobs nowadays or whatever that is. Like we can all choose to be what we want based on our passion and what maybe our calling is. So I think no, that's a great reminder that you said, and awesome that you bought a bunch of books and you're ready to share that with people. Um,
Yeah.
as
Absolutely.
well.
Absolutely.
And I hope that we can definitely not only have Madeline on maybe again, but hopefully get to connect with her in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think there's some
Yeah,
conversations
stay
maybe
tuned
around.
for sure. We're gonna definitely set something up that week, kind of third week of May. We'll send out some more details. We're gonna collaborate with her. She's juggling a lot of things right now, including getting married, and whatnot. So we're trying to uh, plan some. Excuse me, plan something where we can set something up at a good, whether it's a happy hour place or even 5 iron, and just have some type of little network workshop collaboration uh, you know, event that people can come to meet her, get her kind of knowledge and experience in this, and I think it'll be a great event. So we'll definitely send out more details. We'll collaborate with her to get that set up, and then we'll share details and we'll promo the hell out of it to share with everyone. And excited to see kind of what comes about.
Yeah, yeah. And again, another great point. When you approached me and we set out to do this, building a community around, obviously at first it was girl dads without knowing what was going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
But I think just, a support system, a community around parents, anyone that wants to learn and in essence, like make a better place for the
Hmm.
future.
Hmm.
Right. I mean,
Hmm.
essentially, that's what you're kind of doing here is sharing your story about the journey you're on as a girl dad and now a boy dad, and sharing that with other people, the vulnerability of it, and learning through it, and making this place better, right? Because we all know that's one thing we all got to do now is make this a better place, and have that support system, have those communities. So, man, that's awesome. So, um, we like to do we haven't done a lot of updates yet recently, especially from last episode on like Zyanna and Sahil's journeys. You shared a little bit right in the beginning,
Yeah.
but what are some things that are happening? How's daycare? What's going on? How's the balance of like Sahil? Who's watching him? Like what's all going on with some of that
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So thankfully, Bavisha has a really good maternity leave from program uh, from from her work. So she goes back actually next month, which time has definitely flown by. So we are going to actually just we've got to get back into a routine where she's flexible in a little bit, but we're still trying to we get Ziana out between 9 and 9:30. Zyanna got admitted and accepted into a Montessori in northern Kentucky, so we're excited about that in terms of what kind of wealth of knowledge and experience she'll gain. But on the back end, we're like, how the hell are we going to get her to school by 8 a.m. and get us to work and everyone ready and all that stuff? So that's definitely a big challenge for us as well because it's a school, right? So there's summertime,
Yeah,
there's no daycare. So one thing we were hung up on for a little bit was the routine of everything. How is that going to work with, because it's 20 minutes from us, right?
yeah, that's
So, yeah, most of everyone knows that we live in the dirty South, Union, Kentucky, the U, um, and ain't nothing close. So
well, you guys got a Publix. That's about the
yeah,
only thing that's
we got
close.
public opening March 26th, baby. Then opening day March 27th, and then your boy's birthday the next week. Oh my god!
Oh,
So we kicking it. We having a
there's
good
not a
time.
lot of work that happens in those
Yeah,
in those two and a
between
half weeks.
opening day and about April 30th, May 1st. Well, now May 3rd. Now there's not much that goes on
We should
in
we,
so.
we should do like
But
a special opening day podcast or something.
oh, that would be sick.
I don't know.
That would
Maybe
be
for an
sick.
hour we do a live, our boy John who sits over there on Moorline, you know,
Yeah.
doing all that
Yeah.
madness. I don't know. Maybe we
Yeah,
figure
shout out to
something out.
John John. He's also a
He's a
girl
girl
dad.
dad. Yo,
He's
we
a
should.
girl dad. Yeah, he's a girl dad. So, and he's crushing it. It's always fun and exciting to see his videos out there and him on the radio and him still crushing it. Because remember, I mean, the first time I met him was at Elements. He DJ.
Elements.
He has that
Yes. So,
long, shaggy hair and stuff, and we're sneaking him Coronas in the back.
yo, I don't know if he wants everyone to know that, but
Oh
no.
shit, no, we weren't doing that.
For
Crap.
anyone that doesn't, obviously a lot of our listeners have no idea what we're talking about, but so we used to have a banquet hall called the Elements Conference and Event Center in Sharonville. Shout out to the Biddy clan as well.
Yes.
And Varun and I were all there. And we spent what 4.5 years in the banquet hall world. I mean,
Yeah.
every day events, operations, flipping rooms. And so
Mhm.
John was a DJ at one of the weddings there. And that's how we first met him. And this was back in like 2010.
Yeah.
So it's been, God, 15 years
15
since
years.
then. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how we started talking about John and Elements, but that's what
You
podcasts
gotta
are all
send John
about.
John this clip to get him on. Get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We just want to be able to get
for
that plug
sure.
in.
Yep, absolutely. No,
Oh
but
man.
no,
But
so
yeah, no, keep going.
the routine, so we're excited about Montessori because one of the things that scares me about the school system and educational system is I was more so the middle of the road. Obviously, it's, I have ADD, whether there was, whether there was testing and all that stuff done for that and how that could have changed my journey and path in school. I didn't do well in school. I couldn't pay attention. I was a class clown. I acted out. I thrived on attention. A lot of similarities into how I am today, but I'm not, sitting in a classroom distracting everyone. But it was tough. I wasn't motivated to learn more or go home and read and things like that. I would just kind of do the basic homework or just scramble and do homework at the last minute due to procrastination, whatnot. There was no motivation or kind of excitement or whatnot from that. And the one of the big reasons I want her to experience Montessori is because of the proven successes we've seen from that and the experiences from other parents, like you guys have sent Obi, and I think live and die by the Mount Montessori, and Sans Montessori is one of the top in the city. So for you guys to be able to get into that, because that's a tough one to get into, and you went through Walnut Hills and whatnot, so you had a really solid educational journey, but you can probably tell differences from perhaps Ovi and your learning experiences, your educational journey, and his. So I'm excited to see that because we got to tour it, we got to do an observation time and how they do things and teach things and help them learn in a different setting really excites me to help her grow because I'm sure I speak for a lot of parents. One of the biggest fears for um, a dad, a mom is, what tendencies or trends or, genetics will they pick up from you as their mom or dad, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, okay, my journey was a tough one, right? 10 years ago, on March 1st was a rock bottom moment for my life. So and I thought about a lot of that this week because it's been 10 years and it changed a lot of things. We were working together. I almost moved down to Atlanta, took a job there, and my whole life journey could have been different. But because of that incident that happened, Atlanta didn't happen. Things changed with us, and then I found this real estate path, and it's been an up and down journey, and uh, I wouldn't change it,
Right.
because
Well,
no, I mean, I love Zyanna, I love Bavisha, I love everything at Sahil, and I love everything that I have, and we can't sit here and think about what could have been,
yeah,
where life could be or could not be, but no, I think about that a lot in terms of how Zyanna's education and how Sahil's education is going to be, what their experience is, and how are they going to receive that and learn from it and adapt and take it all in. And are they going to have ADHD tendencies? Are they going to thrive in school? Are they going to dislike school? Are they going to be more entrepreneur minded or procrastination, or are they going to be top of their class or whatnot? So, you know, like every parent, we just want to set them up for success. We every parent has the same goal, and I think that goal is to let their kid be better than, but become better than them,
No, that's
and thrive and be successful. And I remember my dad saying that a lot to me before. Is just like, yeah, all I want for you guys is to be better than us, and that's why our parents sacrificed so much, came here with nothing, worked their ass off, 3, 4 jobs, did everything, lived in a small house in Price Hill, got married, got kids, bought some stores, did some business, worked their asses off, set their kids up to go and succeed. And none of us in our family have been handed, you know, we're not trust fund babies in the sense, oh yeah, we were handed businesses, we were handed, you know, money, college is paid for, things like that. No, we were grinders. We were middle class, but we had, you know, we had a little bit more success than our parents in terms of what we had to kind of start from in the foundation world. And then we grew from there, and we took that choice of, okay, do we want to do this, or do we want to grow it from here and then kind of carry on that success for our kids to see? And I think we've all done a good job at that. And I just want to continue to give those opportunities to Zyanna and Sahil. So that's the background on the kind of the long story about the Montessori and why that's important to me. But there's a lot of changes coming for us. So in that kind of world, because our routines in the morning are a little,
yeah, they're gonna.
right?
And
You got a 3-month-old, got to be fed, all that stuff. Then Vivisha goes back to work. Then Ziana's got to get out there. It's 20 minutes away, so just kind of readapting. So the next couple of months will just be for us having a new routine to help get us ready to go for August when that happens. So, but no, she's loving daycare. She's doing great there. Always gets good comments and
thriving.
remarks from her teachers, and she loves it. So we love seeing all the pictures and videos that they send, you know, updates that they send through the app, and it's just amazing. So she still has her one favorite person that she's always dropping his name.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Jace. Yeah, she's always like,
Jace.
yeah, it's like, you ready to go to school, Jace? Like, that's not what I asked, but all right. So
Oh man, I love it. I love it. No, and you know, we our son has been in
yeah.
Montessori since what, 18 months.
Hmm.
18 months, he's about to be 11. And you know, we did research on the Montessori. My wife did more so than I did, just straight up. Um and just, you know, seeing how they become so independent. They have more of a leadership and growth mindset. Things are more, you know, kind of like accessible to, you know, them from a physical standpoint of sizing and whatnot and the structure. And I you know, the layouts of the classrooms are really awesome. You know, he's in 5th grade now, and seeing that, you know, you don't have the traditional, you know, boards, and then you've got the desk lined up and stuff, and it's more stations and things. We're very happy we made that decision, not taking anything away from the other educational systems
Right.
there are,
Right.
but you know, I think that you'll find yourself, especially coming from an ADHD world as well. I haven't gotten diagnosed, but I can damn well prove that I am. I think that does sometimes work best, and you'll find out, right? You'll find out as you go. Seeing the success for Ziana and then Sahil, you'll see what that looks like, and each journey is different. Each person, each brain is different, right? You know, I think it's interesting too. You brought up about, you know, both of us are immigrant parents, you know, who moved here, and now we were first generation born. It's interesting because most of us, at least in our family, did not go down the same path as our parents did. Right? Like a lot of us went into business or entrepreneurship or whatever, but we went down very different paths than what they did. And I just realized that I had like a little epiphany when you were saying like, we're not trust fund babies, or we didn't, you know, get stuff, you know, served to us or whatnot. And
Mm.
not taking anything away from people
Right.
that are building second generation, third generation businesses. Kudos to all of you. But I think that's, you know, it's going to go back to, you've got the right foundation,
Yes.
that it's going to be very hard for your kids to fail. I'll be very honest, right? Like, you're going to naturally teach them the same way your parents did. And your parents did a hell of a great job with you, right?
Yeah.
And with your brother,
Right.
and all of our families did. And so
Yeah.
it's just going to get better and better. The platform just gets higher and higher. It's not like, oh my God, it's rebuilding from there. You're building upon that, which is why the foundations and the values are so important, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and going back to the Girl Dad book, it talks about a lot of that. So I haven't read it, but I know that it says a lot of that stuff. And a lot of the things we talk about, a lot of the books you bring up, just even the day to day, it's all there. And again, the habits, right? Like you're saying, it's going to be tough for the next couple of weeks, or in August when you guys start, a couple of weeks, and you'll be into that routine. You'll be like, wow, we adapted to this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's awesome. How's so Sahil, 3 months? I know he's got a big day coming up tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Tomorrow we're doing Hindu ceremony, I guess Hindu Punjabi ceremony. It's called a Namkiran, which they back in the day they used to do it more often in part of naming the child.
yep. So
Um,
Nam in Hindi means name.
yep.
Northern
Yeah.
Hindi Punjabi. Nam
Yeah.
means name, and Kiran is, I guess, the blessing, or I don't even know what Kiran.
Yeah. Yeah. The blessing, the writing of the name, or yeah, whatnot. So that's why we leave that to our parents.
Oh man. Okay. So so in August, when Zyanna goes to the Montessori, what's the plan with Sahil then?
Yeah, we've kind of just started to contemplate what that looks like. Because I mean, once you do one, it's like, okay, everything else is just like, it's like, riding a bike. It just comes back to you and things. So probably, maybe around that time, put him into daycare as well. He'll be about 10 months, which is kind of the same timeline and time frame we put Zyanna in, that we liked it. I think it just comes into play of how does work go this year for myself? How's business look? How does Bavisha getting back into the things of work and that mode and mentality, and then just kind of seeing how things adjust and adapt. Again, we're super fortunate that we've got both sets of parents here, so we can work through that. So just kind of it's an open discussion right now on what that will look like. So just kind of excited to see where it goes, but we've got options, which is great, and super thankful and blessed to have those options.
And
So
and I asked that because obviously every family goes through this, especially when
Mhm.
both sets of parents are, well, both husband and wife, mom and dad are working. You obviously are like an entrepreneur. Bavisha's got her own job and stuff. And so navigating what that looks like, especially when the two kids are very close in age, right? So if any viewers, listeners have some ideas and thoughts around
Mhm.
balancing all that out, we'd love to hear from you all. And thank you to everyone that does even comment or send us text messages or whatnot. Feel like more people decide to side message us and stuff versus like showing it publicly. And we're like,
Yeah,
yo, just
yeah,
put this on there so we can all share together.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
we should start sorry, I'm just kind of rambling. We should start on Instagram, at least, like a broadcast channel, or a channel where we can share some stuff and maybe people can share some stuff back, just to, going back to the community thing. Like if all of us can share the knowledge we've gotten and
Mhm.
navigate these journeys together easier, it's just going to make everything better. Right. Um,
Yeah,
so I think that would be cool. So
that'd
you
be
talk
great.
about, oh, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. That'd be great to put up there. Yeah.
Um, we haven't talked about listings side
Yeah.
a lot. Real
Yeah.
estate. You just talked about depending on how everything goes, and that triggered in my head like there's a lot of talk right now with, especially with the new administration, with the new protocol for commissions and stuff, and then the economy and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise, I'll call it. So fill us in a little bit. What are some major updates going on right now with the real estate world? Before you get started, I'm going to say one because I was flipping out on text messages y'all the other day, was property tax. We've got a short-term rental and the property tax
Yeah.
just skyrocketed
Yeah.
on it. And so that's what triggered me into asking you, like, yo, what's going on in the real estate world? Because I was like, whoa, this is a big jump. So yeah, share with us some stuff.
Yeah, it was insightful to hear a perspective, because for us that's like Okay, we see it, we deal with it in some capacity, but yeah, it's insightful to see like a regular consumer, and you said it too. You're like, dude, if a regular homeowner gets this, like, yeah, they would be flipping out. Like, wait, hold on, my taxes just. I mean, Hamilton County just dealt with it,
Yeah.
hugely, and everyone has been fighting and things like that, and the realtor board had a lot to do with helping kind of share the values and kind of bring those values down, because the unfortunate part of it, with kind of county assessments and property assessments, is they kind of go off of sale price data, and then um if neighboring properties are improved, then they kind of sometimes just lump it all in to one.
Mm.
So that affects value in certain capacities too. We have a building over on Coleraine in the West End, and it's inhabitable, but they raised our property, essentially 500% from what we bought it at.
Wow.
And we've been trying to fight that, so we're paying taxes on a $240,000 assessment when the property is not in any condition that it should be valued at that. So yeah, a lot of people are going through that as well. So yeah, note to homeowners: pay attention to your tax bills, pay attention to your escrows, pay attention to all that, and talk to your local advisor and expert. Real estate agents are great resources. We're not just people you can only talk to if you're buying or selling. I have clients that trust me enough, and that's the kind of rewarding part of the real estate world, is that they can reach out to me if they need a contact for an HVAC, or something happened, or they want to remodel, or they got a tax bill and they're not sure if it lines up and adds up. If I can't answer those questions, I can definitely provide resources. And that's really the rewarding part of being in real estate, is that clients will hit you up or reach out to you, or people would reach out to you for things outside of buying and selling. But I know that's also, people don't know that you
Yeah.
can
I
reach
didn't
out
know
to a real
that.
estate agent or whatnot. So for everyone watching, listening, whatnot, feel free that you don't have to only talk to me because you're planning on buying or selling or investing. I can help set up goals and plans if that's what you want to do, whether that's the goal for 2026 or 2030, to buy or sell or invest, or you've got a question about something with your mortgage, your tax bill, your mortgage insurance, how to maybe get that removed because you maybe lived in the property for a couple years, you've done some improvements, you can now get that removed, because that can save you anywhere from $125 to $175 on average a month. So those types of things are all the back end small stuff, and those are what I try to share on their social media page. But just another thing that I need to do more of to make people comfortable in reaching out to myself or other agents in their network, that they can say, hey, heard about this on a podcast or the radio or the news article. What does this mean for us, or what does this mean for or I got this tax bill, what do I do with it? So
So
plug.
no, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Well, man, you guys should start like subscription based like pricing. Like, yo, I'll be like your real estate agent whenever you need me for like $50 a month or something. Like just any questions you need, here you go. Just got to pick up the phone. Cause I didn't think about that, right? Like, hey, oh, I could talk to a real estate agent about this or whatnot. It's always transactional, right? In your head.
It's always transactional. Most agents will treat you as just a person and not look to get you. Sure, there are agents that may not, help out, but I think every agent that I've met along the last 10 years of being in real estate would pick up the phone, would provide you a guidance, be a resource, whatever it may be. I mean, it's not as if we're, just someone that's only talking to you for, direct commission out of you.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, we cannot charge you a per hour service or whatnot. We are not attorneys. Sometimes we feel as if we do more work than attorneys, or we should charging at the level and scale of an attorney's rate, but we don't get that. Right now, we're battling NAR still because they are some whatever, and they just settled, and now we have to fight even harder for our commission, when most buyers and sellers realize the amount of work and the value that they feel from the agent that they worked with, and unfortunately some don't. And that's where all that lawsuit and things started, and unfortunately, the NAR is, whatever.
Oh,
Just
we
the
know you
point
have
of that is yeah.
nice words for them.
Yeah. So, that we have to pay into to be able to have certain accesses as a licensed agent or whatnot. So, but we've been navigating that since August. And again, it just goes to show just how you've been operating as a business owner, as a real estate agent, even before this. Have you been sitting down and doing buyer consults? Have you been providing value to your clients to help them understand how commissions and transaction fees work? Where does it all come from? How does the agent that's advising and guiding you, and maybe they're only opening doors, or are they walking you through the inspection, the financing, the lending process, the appraisal process, the contingency processes, comps analysis, data analysis, all of that stuff? How are they providing value? How does all that work? Really all comes down to that initial meeting you have with that client. And that helps you overcome this new law that's been in place since August in regards to the buyer representation agreement that we've touched on a couple of episodes
Yeah,
here
we
and
did.
there, about how that works. So each day is kind of new, each day in the sense of, I hear a different story, whatnot. In one uh, real estate forum, local forum, I was reading a post from an agent that was there for something else in Warren County, but while waiting for his case to come up, he was listening and sitting in on a brokerage suing a buyer that had signed a representation agreement with that brokerage, but ended up working with another agent whilst they were under contract in that representation agreement, and uh going through that. So he didn't stay. That result wasn't, the findings of that wasn't shared in that moment, but that's happening here and there. So, be careful with what you sign and have a full understanding, right? Uh, People can only provide as much knowledge as you also want to receive as well. Are you just signing something, whatever? Cool, I'm seeing a house, I'm going to sign this document, and then you don't know what agreement you're getting into, which kind of goes back to how this whole lawsuit started and how it should have been shut down. That some sellers felt that they were being, cheated out on commissions and they were paying too much for commissions or whatnot. But I mean, you can only point the finger at other people more so than yourself a handful of times. Like, at
Right.
the end of the day, understand what you're doing. If you have questions, if you don't feel comfortable, ask them.
Yes.
Utilize your resources. Talk to maybe other people that have bought and sold, or go online, Google things, get comfortable. Use your resources, and don't feel that, because I last time I checked, I haven't met any agent that's put a gun to a client's head and say, "Hey, sign this document." Okay? So, but yeah, I know I'm going off on tangent because I just
No.
feel so passionate about it, because I always want every customer and every client to feel transparent. And when I have yes, there is a contract date on all of our listing contracts, all of our representation agreement contracts. But I always tell them, like, look, if at any time you don't feel that I'm representing you well, you feel comfortable with me in this journey and process, have that conversation with me. I'm an open door cancellation policy. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, no, no. I don't care what you feel, but we've got this date. So until this date passes, this contract stays in place. Why would anyone want to do that as an agent or a buyer, seller, or consumer, that you're just uncomfortable with somebody, but yet you're about to make the biggest
Yeah.
purchase of your life? So if there's any agents out there that are sticking to that date, then, maybe shame on you. But a lot of people in the net, in my sphere of people that I work with every day and I see and collaborate with every day, I know that they're doing their best, and they're an open communication policy. So because I want everyone to feel comfortable working with me, I'm not offering some completely proprietary different service than another agent is. Maybe better than some, worse than others, whatnot. Maybe I don't answer the phone as quick as someone else does, or maybe, I do something better than the next agent. We all also offer different kind of ways of our communication and services. Um, but at the end of the day, we want you to feel comfortable with who you're working with to make this investment.
In these agreements that people make with realtors, like, is there anything where like, hey, you can cancel this within like 10 days, just let us know or anything like that? Or is it like, nope, this date is fixed and that's it?
It's it's not as laid out like that where you have a window to cancel this or whatnot, but it just goes into how it's being presented, what questions you're asking
Yeah.
the agent you're meeting with and
Yeah.
talking of, hey, if I want to cancel, what are my options here?
Right.
So
Asking the right questions.
exactly, exactly. And I've told other people that are interviewing with other agents or going with another agent, maybe they used them before and whatnot, that are friends and whatnot. There is nowhere in our friendships or relationships that I have with anyone that requires you to use me.
Mm.
Okay. Whether we know each other, don't know each other, anything like that. But again, I'm here if you need to bounce things off of me. Um, to make sure you feel comfortable in your journey. I have a good friend of ours that is under contract on another property with another agent that they brought them this deal, and I am all for that. I am all for that because I would hope and expect and appreciate the same respect from the another agent that did that same thing too. That, hey, the guy brought them the deal, walked them through the property, helped them negotiate, and all that stuff. Because why, as an agent, would you just want to interject yourself because you feel like you have some right? Because, oh, I'm friends with you, you have to work with me.
Right.
No, whoever feels that way as a real estate agent, maybe you're in the wrong business, or maybe you need to be re-educated on how you do business. But no, I mean, I certainly appreciate when I'm people's first call. And I typically try to mention to them, if you want to have another conversation with another agent, by all means. And pretty much everyone I'm interviewing with that I don't have a direct relationship with is interviewing other agents. Families, friends, they go, sure, with the trust aspect, but I tell them too, hey, you're not getting any additional favors from me. I operate the same way with you, with a random person that called me from my, advertisement or marketing, whatnot. You're not getting, just because we're homies or you're my cousin, I'm not doing anything more for you that I wouldn't do for the next person,
I
right?
got you.
It's just it, you get the same marketing, you get the same videography, social media, photography, market analysis, time, effort, energy, whether you're 100,000, 100 million, you know, whatever end of the spectrum, you're getting the same, service. And
I hope
sometimes
you get some more $100 million deals. Like, shit.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I need them. I need them. Yeah,
um,
yeah. So I feel very passionate about that. But overall, yeah, I mean, it's like, I love real estate and I want people to feel comfortable in what they're doing because I hear a lot of times, unfortunately, that, man, we ended up going with this agent. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't feel the same, uh, you know, we didn't feel the level of service we should have gotten, but they're just stuck, unfortunately. They don't know.
yeah.
Um, and that's why I try to post things in terms of educating. I need to do more of that and
Well, I
share
mean,
that
you do a lot.
story of it.
I don't think
So
you need to do
yeah,
more. You
yeah,
it's up to the people to go out and do the research and ask the right
right,
questions and this and that.
right.
You are providing a plethora of stuff everywhere: social media, website, emails, in your inbox, text messages, here, boom. Like, at some point, it's up to the person, right? Um, so no, but this is all really good insight, especially people
Yeah,
that are about to buy or sell. Like,
yeah,
read the fine print, do
yeah,
your due diligence, run
yeah.
the contract through Chat GPT or whatever AI tool you use, find out everything, do
Correct.
everything you can, and be resourceful,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Market wise, I
Mhm.
read somewhere that it's starting to become a buyer's market a little bit more. I don't know. I could have been a clickbait or something,
Yeah, yeah.
but what's going on with the market
In
as far as
in
inventory?
in in some essence, there is a little bit. of scenarios that the buyers have a little more power. Maybe the house has been sitting on the market a little bit longer, so they've got more opportunity to get more from the seller, such as price reduction, full commission paid by the seller, inspection repairs, seller concessions, and more contingencies in terms that are more comfortable and beneficial for the buyer. So it is switching a little bit, but in also some cases, it's still a crazy seller's market.
I was about to give you an
This
example.
I have worked the last 3 Sundays because we've been scrambling to go see properties and whatnot, and I've picked up more clients that are ready to go because they're more aggressive. Sellers are. We've got some more inventory coming to market, and we're getting into bidding wars. I just sold a house in Norwood for $65,000 over asking.
Yeah, I think you just posted about
Yeah. Yep. And we had a strategy, we had a plan, we went to market in 5-degree weather. Um, so
$1,000 over asking price.
$65,000 over asking. And it was great for the sellers, and 5 other buyers missed out
Yeah,
on
we
it, unfortunately.
there was a house right in front of ours, like in the subdivision right before ours, and it had a sign that said coming soon. And then all of a sudden it was pending. Like it never even went on the market. And for seeing the condition that the house is in, I mean, it's a fine house, but like the pricing, I was just like, my God. That makes you just think like, dang, could we sell out? I've talked to you a couple of times like, yo, should we sell? But then it's like, what are you moving into? Like you're still getting the same interest rates. It's still, you're gonna just give it all to the company that funds your loan. Right. So yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about to be your busy season, right? That's why it's been a little chaos for you.
Yeah, I mean, and thankfully we've been busy up to so far. I've had 12 closings this year already.
Wow.
I've got a few listings in the pipeline, a few buyers that are kind of ready to go, a couple clients that are buyers that will be sellers, so they're just waiting for the right house to come about. Um, Getting people to reach out and say, hey, we're looking to buy, we're done renting, we want to start talking about that. So yeah, a lot of things are flowing nicely in my business side of things, so which is good. I mean, last year December, January was slow. February last year was a big month. And then kind of March, April kind of started to just kind of sprinkle in, and then June, July was skyrocketed or whatnot. I was just looking at my old numbers and things. So it's been a great start to the year. I know a lot of people have felt that as well. I mean, just had to offer 150,000 over asking on a house in Montgomery the other day that my clients unfortunately missed out on. They got second place there. Toward another house today that already has multiple offers. Have a client that's going to look at an investment property that already has multiple offers on it. So things are just heating up overall. It comes down to kind of the planning, the strategy on both the listing side of how you're marketing, how you're selling, and on the buying side of things, just kind of where we're at. We're still feeling inventory issues. Unfortunately, in a lot of the popular areas, there's still limited inventory where people are seeing houses they don't like, or they're like, nah, not my style, but it's still selling quickly. Basically, I think I was looking at February 2025 numbers versus 2024. I mean, median sold price is up like a little over 7%. 279,000 over instead of 260,000, which was last February. Total sold volume is up about 8%, over 157 million versus compared to 146 million last
Okay.
year. Active inventory though is up 41%. So that's where everyone's feeling that buyer's type market. There's a little bit more options. There's a little bit more that we don't necessarily have to jump on right away on every property. So, because the way I see and feel is everyone that got that 2-3% interest rate holding off longer,
Yeah. Yeah.
staying in their home longer, but life still happens, right? You still have that kid, that second kid. you still get that promotion, you still get married, you still move in with your girlfriend or boyfriend or fiance, and rent still goes up. So those things still happen that are just, unavoidable. Life still goes on. Divorce unfortunately happens. So those family changes, work life changes still happen. And yeah, we were seeing that people are, average, 7 to 10 people will stay in their house. People kind of stay in there a little bit longer because they're like, I don't want to lose my rate. But life happens. So you now are still having to see those people that maybe were like, okay, in 2023, when the rates kind of first went up, I'll hold off, I'll wait. But no, we're still here 2025, 2 years later at 7%. So, and you can't kind of just, there's only so much renovations and stuff you can do in the house where it's like, okay, we got to go, we got to change, we got to downsize, we got to upsize, whatever it may be. So, that's where that buyer market feels a little bit, but there's still, for our local market, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, it's still good time to buy, because trust me, if the rates go down, those people that have been waiting
Oh,
to rent to buy now, or waiting to upsize or downsize, those people are now jumping in the market, and now you're competing against, if you feel like it's competitive right now, think of it when the rates drop 1 point, 2 point, you got everyone now ready to roll. So yeah, and I mean, our average median days on market are still kind of similar. It was 5 days in 2024. It's 6 days now. So, and new
one more day.
listings. Yeah, exactly. So still a lot of similar feel from that competitive market, but things are changing a little bit where, sellers have to do a little bit more to their
Okay.
house versus just throwing something out there. So there's a little bit more strategy, which is why we've seen a huge exodus of realtors. I don't have the data in front of me, but it's like under 1% of active licensed agents that have sold over, 5 or 10 homes in 2024. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll have to refresh my memory on that data, but it was something that was kind of flowing around the Instagram social media channels frequently, that people were talking about, that it's like, it's only a small percentage of people that are actively buying and selling as agents and representation. Yeah, it's still a crazy market. There's still inventory. I'm having a lot of conversations with people that are um concerned about the inventory. Is there more stuff going to come up? And naturally so, yes. We're definitely seeing more of a seasonal time frame. Since 2023, we have seen where, okay, November, December, January, we kind of slowed down a little bit. February, March, things kind of start to peak up, and then April till about August, it's just a frenzy, a free for all. So, still feeling that kind of normalcy in the seasons of things, but yeah, we're expecting more inventory. School is going into summer break, so people in those school related communities that are important to buyers are kind of seeing more inventory. Expect to see more inventory there, but overall, I mean, it is a it's still a good time to buy, because prices are going up. It's
See
I
that.
think I'm now, when I have conversations with buyers, I'm not having to explain that part of the concept in more detail. People are now seeing that because they've been looking for the last year or two, and they're like, holy shit, that house a year ago was 500, now it's 550. And it's like, yeah, it's simple economics. The neighbor sold their house for 550.
Yeah.
Now this house is worth 550.
Right.
So
Right.
things just go up, right? So people are now understanding that, like, man, and now we're being priced out. I was having a conversation with the seller too, because they're like, we want to be in this community, we want to be in this area, but we're starting to see that our 4 bed, 3 bath, 2 car garage criteria is now starting to inch closer to the top of our budget. So that's definitely frustrating. There's ways we're working to find off-market opportunities. I work with a lot of investors that come across a lot of different opportunities, which I think is a huge advantage for my residential clients. And then just networking with other colleagues, other agents, sending out marketing flyers, sending out things in social media, Facebook groups. I encourage all of my clients that are in certain areas. Yeah, if you're not in those Facebook forum groups, get in those, such as, Anderson Township Community, for example.
All of it, yeah.
There's those groups that you can jump in. There's so many people saying, hey, I'm looking for this. If anybody's selling in this street, just let me know. And you never know just what comes about.
But you'll get a lot of comments and a lot of knowledge from there. Again, community. All these little community forums and things. It's great to have. I mean, they're great for just connection and stuff. But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we're it's staying busy. And then plus on the back end of things, that's just on the front service. On the back end of stuff, I've got to keep my social media going, my CRM, my database engaged, email marketing going out, connecting with pipeline and all that stuff. So there's someone asked me the other day, is like, well, the inventory's so limited. So what are you so busy with? And I was like, I wish it was just like, well, there's nothing to see today, so nothing to do. But but that's not on them to understand that.
They're just
Nobody,
not in
we
the
don't
world.
get the real estate world, but there's constant things that we're doing because, okay, a house just hit the market. All right, let's ride. Are you available right now? We got to go see it. Okay, I got to do the comps. I got to do the property disclosures. I got to get the data. I got to understand what this street and this area and this market kind of looks like, because
You gotta do
my
all that real
brain,
quick.
my head is big, but it ain't that big where I can have all that knowledge and data in my head at one time. So I got to kind of refresh and all that time. So while I'm like texting and driving a lot, it's me like, okay, cool. So the comps on this one was on the market 3 days, because everyone looks to the agent to know things about the house, whether it's actual data that I can actually find, or it's silly stuff like, why did the seller paint the house this color? Um, he actually told me.
He actually
So,
told me.
but
Actually,
I love it. It's yeah.
we were supposed to record this podcast yesterday, and Varun got busy with showings at the last minute, so we had to postpone. So that's a very real scenario right there. I totally understand. But man,
Exactly.
that's a lot of great knowledge
Yes.
and
With
insight on the real
tangents
estate
running
side of
off. Yeah.
things. Wow, I mean, I think we just make that whole little snippet just and drop it, and everyone that's about to sell or buy a home, just here you go. Here's a little masterclass on it. Well, awesome. No, appreciate that. All right, so anyone that's looking to buy or sell, contact Varma Realty Group. All right, we got
Absolutely.
you. Well, he's got you. Not we.
Not even looking to buy or sell, just have some question about the real estate world.
Yeah,
What you're seeing on the headlines, does that make sense to our local market? What you're seeing in the administration, how does that translate to us? If I'm buying or selling down the road, if I'm investing, what does that look like for me and my portfolio? Because for everyone, it's different. It's all about the importance behind the why of, why are you investing? Why are you buying? Why are you selling? What does that have to do with everything? Is the market going to crash and things like that? Not as what we've seen before. Are things going to change? Are we going to go to a recession? Yeah. I mean, I was talking to someone that was watching the president speak on C-SPAN and things. Just having casual conversation, regardless of what political affiliation you have. It is what it is now. We're with this person, whether you like him, you hate him, or
yeah.
whatever you
So now
feel
we
about
got it.
him. So we've got to be knowledgeable about what's going on. So perhaps he is trying to put us into a little bit of a recession to get some things to go down. There is some advantage of him being a business person. Some people can say expert, some people can say guru, some can say business failure, whatever. I'm not here to kind of talk that, but
Right.
it's just, educate yourself and then talk to people in those certain industries, just as if, your knee hurts and you need to talk to a specialist. Gauge and inform and do your own research and lean on the resources you have, whether we've met before, or you're a family member. Always open to having real estate conversations. I think real estate is a big piece of people's lives, and whether you buy and sell once in your entire life, or you buy multiple properties a year, you always want to be educated for yourself as well.
Yep. Well, that's a great takeaway. I was going to ask you if you had a takeaway for us before we wrap it up, but I think that might
There
be
it is.
there. Anything
That
else?
really is.
Anything else to leave behind with our viewers and listeners?
Nope. I'm excited that we got this podcast in because I'm headed to sunny Cancun next
Oh,
week. So
oh
by the time this
man.
one drops, I will be on the beach or in a pool with Zyanna and Bavisha. We're taking Zyanna on her kind of last us three trip, I guess, maybe. So would love to hear from experienced, parents that have older kids, kind of how they manage that with traveling with two or traveling with one. Like, did they leave the youngest behind or whatnot, and how that goes? So we just wanted to do kind of one last trip with Zyanna before we have to start paying for her. And
Yeah.
huge factor.
Yep. That's smart. That's real smart, actually.
Yeah. So, and then, because we went to Cabo, just us two,
Yep.
about a month ago, and we had a good time. It was great, but we knew that this was going to be one of the last times that we were just going to go on our own because Ziana is more aware. Sahil will start to be aware, and they'll miss us. We miss them every day that we're not with them, or even when they are in the same room, and you just want to just hug them and hold them. Like, unfortunately, Ziana's been sleeping in our room the past week or so. Just she was sick. We adapted her into our bed, and then she
Now
never
it's
left.
she
And
ain't getting out. She's like, sweet.
yeah,
I
so
got it.
and then in the morning she'll kick me in the side of the rib or slap Beach in the face, and I'll just still roll over and give her a kiss and want to hold her and cuddle her,
Oh,
even though she's tells me no, go away, walk. She tells me walk now, like to walk away. So I'm like, where are you learning this stuff? But she just says walk, and
Jace.
like doesn't even have the time to say walk away, please, and whatever.
Oh man, no, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
we're excited to
excited.
take her there, and we're super excited. She just tried on her hat and bathing suit yesterday, and she was super excited. So
Man, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Varun. Another
thank
great
you,
episode. Thank you to everyone that supports us,
appreciate you
keeps giving
all.
us feedback. Yes.
Yeah, please DM us, comment. We'd love to see your comments. We appreciate the text on the side, but we'd love for your comments to start conversation.
Yep.
DM us on our snippets, whatnot. We'd love to see conversation and engagement go on to see everyone's perspectives. You could listen to half our podcast and think I'm a complete moron, and that's totally fair. Or you could say, actually, that's a good perspective on life. I'll try to consider things that way. Nobody in this podcast is saying that we are perfect in any way. Bhavish and I work through things. We have hard conversations. We work to have hard conversations. We still have disagreements. There's frustrations. There's pain. There's just learning and growing all together because we didn't get a pamphlet that told us what to do, how to do it, you know?
Oh, we're
So
all
we are
learning.
just thriving to be our best that we can be with the resources that we have. So we love you all. Please share, please comment, please watch, please like. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. With that, thank you everyone for listening to a Listings and Lullabies, A Girl Dad's Journey, episode 4. Please don't forget to check out our episodes at girldadspodcast.com on our website. We've got all of our episodes on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And then, of course, hit us up and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. All right, all of it at girldads.podcast. Thank you, everyone. We out.
We love you, Trey Henderson.
Yeah, Trey, don't leave.
Yeah.